Hi everyone and welcome back, and for those who are new, thank you for coming on board. Please like, share and subscribe to my little channel and watch me grow. Now, you read the topic right. It is how I grew sweet potatoes from peelings. Now, I started my journey with sweet potato like anybody else, putting a piece of sweet potato inside of a glass with water and watching it sprout. Now, after waiting for like 2 to 3 weeks, only one piece of potato sprouted. And I did went ahead and planted this guy. And I mean, what you're looking at here was after about a month of waiting. I separated it and waited on the cut to scab over, and then I planted it. However, I think where I went wrong was that I planted it too soon. I should have waited until the potato slips were more mature and taller. So when I planted this, nothing sprouted, nothing else came out the soil. And when I dug it up, I just saw the potatoes there. So I gave up on that. What I did notice though is that I had some peelings that I had thrown in my compost, and I casually just used that mixture along with other soil and perlite to plant my corn. And I started to see slips shooting out through my corn, and I was quite shocked because I didn't know where they're coming from. So the only thing came to mind was that it was indeed from the peelings that I had. So I took it upon myself to slowly pull them out the soil, and I got three very nice looking slips, as you can see. I did notice though that these slips had no roots on them, so I exercised some more patience and decided to leave them in some water and see if the roots would come. So guys, it's been 3 days since I have left these in the water, since I've actually removed them from the corn where it was growing in the corn, and I just placed them in some water, and as you can see, they have sprouted roots. And I'm just gonna give them about a week in the water, and then I will plant them. Fast forward to a week and I'm ready to plant these guys. Now I'm using an old shopping bag, and what I did was to pack up the base with leaves and sticks and such to ensure drainage and just to help full up the bag instead of having a lot of soil at the bottom coming all the way up. Now I will be putting more soil inside this bag as the slips grow, and what this will do is encourage the roots to grow more along the stem of these vines, and hopefully increasing my yield for potatoes. So all I'm doing now is adding a little bit more soil just so that it's more sturdy inside the bag, and I'll give it a watering, and that will be it in terms of setting these guys up for growth. Over the next couple of weeks, a lot of slips were shooting through my compost. I mean, I do love sweet potato, guys, so I do have a lot of peelings going in. So I wanted to see what was really going on under there, because the first set that I had taken up, it was just via gently pulling it through the soil I was able to get them. So what I was trying to do here was to lift it out of the compost itself to see how it is that they were sprouting from the skin itself, because me personally, I have never heard of it, and all I knew about getting slips was just to put the potato in water. So this is me examining it to see what was going on. And with each slip that I collected, I would continue to plant them inside this box that you're seeing here. Yes, I said box. However, I would later have to transplant them into a better container. But the box did its time. So with each growth that took place, I will continue to layer it with soil and also with leaves, and they would shoot right through that. And this continued for about 2 weeks, and I got nice, steady, healthy growth with these guys. So my curiosity got the better of me, and I wanted to see if I could do this all over again. So I got my peelings, and as you can see, they are a bit thicker than when you would use a peeler to get them peeled. And I simply just covered them in soil, and I kept watering the soil about 2 times a week, and like magic, they did sprout. So this will be my go-to way for getting my potato slips. This that you're looking at here is around a week to 2 weeks of growth, and I'm about to dig them up so you guys can see again where they're coming from. They're actually coming from the peelings, and I will be planting these guys in my container at the back. As I made mention earlier, I ended up changing the box and the shopping bag that the slips were growing in. And the main reason for that is because the garden area in which they are located tends to collect a little pocket of water whenever it is that we have heavy rains. So the box was not holding up well, and also I was getting a lot of slips shooting up through the compost, so I wanted a good area for everybody to grow together. So I got this tub from my cousin and I just drilled some holes in there for drainage at the bottom and at the side. And the buckets I purchased at the supermarket for about $150. So as they were growing, I took it upon myself to create a little trellis for them using old mop sticks and broomsticks and cord, and it was very simple to do. Now, fast forward to 3 weeks later, and my slips have completely taken over my little garden area. I mean, these slips were growing as if they were on steroids. And I would be okay with this if I had the land space to accommodate these slips to grow and then gain additional rooting, and form additional tubers all over the land. But I was working with a small garden area and I could not afford for them to take over the space. So I did the exact same thing as I did with my pumpkin vines. I examined the vines and I look for whatever branching off in terms of an additional vine growing, and I would just snip it as close as possible to the main vine. So as you can see, that Y intersection, that branching off to the right, I will be cutting that. And that is how I go about trimming the additional growth. There's another offshoot and I would just cut it and snip it right there. So I'll be doing that, and I will also be treating these slips for white flies. And I just did a simple mixture of neem oil and water. So I did 1 tablespoon of neem oil along with a little small teaspoon of dishwashing liquid, and I filled up my spray bottle with water, and I will also be spraying the entire vines for white flies. So I'm just gonna go in, cut away all these branching off shoots and try to get some space. I also experimented with using the same slips that I cut off the main vine and placing them in water for a few days, and I actually saw where roots came in, and these guys can be planted to give you another potato plant. So you guys can also try that. Instead of throwing away the cuttings, you can put them in water and get them rooted. Now, I find that my vines required a lot of maintenance because every other day, 3 to 4 days, I am outside cutting off additional growth. And I do this because I want my plant to focus its energy on the tubers that are growing inside the container. I don't want it to be shooting out foliage, and it's not necessary. So this is the current look of my sweet potato vines, guys. I have gotten rid of the branching off to the left. Those vines, I had to snip them because I do have a pumpkin plant growing in that direction also, and they were both fighting for space. So I allowed the sweet potato vines to basically take over the right section of the garden, and I basically have a wall of sweet potato vines to the right. So that is about it in terms of updates. The next video I will be doing is really just the harvesting of the sweet potatoes. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please go ahead and comment below, and if you have any additional suggestions, please do so also. I'm just showing you the vines here that I had basically just wrapped around inside the container, and some of them I covered with soil. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next harvesting video.